everybody. A lot of people have been asking LD how to play the Hellcat, and this video I think really does examine some of the things he does right and some of the things that make him such an effective player. From the start you can see that his team's not particularly great, neither is the other team. So this is about an average battle that you would expect to find yourself in a pub match. He's got a 47% win chance according to XVM. So basically this is a toss-up. This is a case where one tank, one way or the other, is going to be able to change the flow of battle. And without spoiling too much, this is one where LD really does carry his team. You can see from the start that most everybody is breaking left, except for him, a couple of lights, and maybe two heavies. He goes and he finds an angle on the forest, and this is one of the first aspects of playing the Hellcat really well that's important. You have to be able to find your spot, stick there, and stay hidden while delivering shot after shot after shot. He starts looking at an AMX-40, not a particularly tough tank, but kind of trolly in how it bounces, but it gets derped before he can do anything. He hasn't been spotted yet, so he just keeps calm, keeps looking for shots, and even though he hasn't seen anything, he's trying. Always mouse around, try to find the angles. You never know where you're going to see a shot between something. That shot bounces off a house. I'm not entirely sure what he was shooting at, but you never know what you'll catch when you find like that sometimes. So up to this point, he hasn't really done much. Battle's all tied up, things are slowly going, and you can see he doesn't panic, he doesn't move, he doesn't get antsy, he just waits. And that's really important with the Hellcat and other sniping tanks. He waits to see other people move forward before he takes a move, and here you'll see why it works for him. You can see the medium's heading up the right side making the push. He's not going to move, and because of that, he's going to get a lot of spots and a lot of kills, and it'll start right here. Takes a good shot at the AT2. Reloads, makes the kill. Same story with the Hetzer. Gets a little bit lucky on the damage roll on the armor. The armor on the Hetzer can be a little bit trolly. But you notice he's still not really moving out of his spot. He's wiggling back and forth trying to find shots, but nothing too crazy. He's staying in cover. Hasn't been spotted yet. And that's key. Here's another aspect with the Hellcats. He knows where to shoot these guys, and he keeps draining shots where it matters. He may be a little late on the shot, but learn where to shoot your tanks. With a more surgical machine like the Hellcat, that really is going to make a lot of difference between doing a little bit of damage and doing a ton of damage. Here he starts to push forward. There is going to be a time when you realize, if he looks and he sees that only 6 people are left on the other team, and he looks at his minimap and he realizes that all 6 are north of him, he moves into a position still concealed in the forest and makes a few more kills, I believe, here. But what he didn't move until every single target where he was going had been nullified. And he has 6th sense, so he still has not been spotted in this game. But the game's not going particularly well for his team at this point in time. This Hellcat's just not paying attention to his surroundings, but it's right here at the first point that LD gets spotted. LD bounces a shot. Hold on, let's look at that again. So, LD, trying to roll this back here, bear with me. Alright, here he's moving in on the Hellcat. We're going to watch it from free camera because I want to take a look at this bounce. Sometimes this happens with the Hellcat, and sometimes it doesn't, but in this case it worked for him. This is also a lesson in where not to shoot the Hellcat here. Alright, so this is now, we rolled the clock back because we want to take a look at that bounce here.
Enemy armor is damaged.
He's spotted. And actually, that wasn't actually a bounce. That was a Hellcat failing to penetrate his gun mantle. Pro tip, don't shoot a Hellcat there. Even a Hellcat itself is going to be able to bounce it, and the other Hellcat paid for it with his life. So, at this point, it's LD and some artillery that has to this point done nothing. On the other team, he's got one Type T-34. It's a pretty good player with 3 kills, and he has a KV-1S with 5 kills. He's just having a monster game. This is a good example of how to play the Hellcat out in the open. He sort of wiggles a little bit to try to get some bounces, try to use a little bit of trolley armor, and he only settles in when he makes the shot, and he used that to great effect with that M4. Now he's up to 5 kills, 1 more for Top Gun. Stops. Now, at this point, he's going for the kill, and in my opinion, he got a little greedy here, because with a minute and 12 seconds left, it would have been real close if he hadn't pushed to the flag. Now, you'll see the enemy makes, in my opinion, a mistake and pulls off the flag, so stopping to take a shot at this Chiha doesn't actually hurt him too bad. But always be mindful of what's going on in the game. Don't necessarily tunnel vision for kills.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Although he has plenty of time to make this shot. Now it's 1-1. He has 7 kills and a KV-1S with 6. Both. That KV-1S has full health at this point in time. So here, now it becomes a bit of a dance. We'll speed up a bit. LD forgot what he was doing and sort of just went for a country drive. He really likes the visuals of the game and really just wanted to examine the horizon. It's beautiful. Truly wonderful. Alright. So the KV-1S has been spotted.
Enemy armor is hit. Critical engine damage.
LD takes an absolute monster of a shot. Just brutal. He's down to 9 health and his engine gets popped. Blows his repair kit. Now, always remember to bring a repair kit, a fire extinguisher, and some medic kit. LD has all 3, and in this case it probably saved him because he was able to keep his engine intact.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Makes a good shot, gets spotted. Now, at this point, and why is there an ad going on in the background? Just ignore that. Now at this point, LD has loaded gold shells. And in this case, I think it's warranted. He absolutely needs to make these shots count. Now here's where he makes an interesting tactical choice and really uses the maneuverability of the Hellcat to his advantage. We're going to speed the replay up a bit. We're at 4 times speed here because he gets spotted without seeing the enemy. So he decides to book it. He backs over the hill and then goes for a long, winding drive. I'm not kidding when I tell you this might be the match that I've seen the tank drive the farthest. He loops back around to try to go where the KV-1S was. Now, at this point, oh, super slow-mo, awesome. This point, the KV-1S has moved, and both of them are capable of one-shotting each other. The KV-1S has 85 hit points, and the KV-1S is not a particularly durable machine. LD, on the other hand, has 9 hit points in a Hellcat, which that KV-1S will pen pretty much anywhere. So this is going to have to come down to one shot. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Now, he was just spotted. Let's slow this way down. He's looking around, trying to figure out where that KV-1S is. KV-1S is up in the hills there, staring right at him. And in true Hollywood form, the KV-1S shoots and misses by less than a foot. LD responds and also misses. Also misses. But he knows he has the reload, and this is something else that's worth talking about. Know what your reloads are, and know what your opponent's reloads are. The KV-1S is shooting with that big derp cannon. No, not the big derp cannon. The KV-1S is shooting with the big nasty cannon, the 122, which has really good penetration, but a fairly long reload time. The Hellcat's going to be able to get 2 shots in the time that the KV-1S gets 1. LD knows this, stays collected, uses his second to last gold shell, and ends the match.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
And that's how it's done. For people asking how to do the Hellcat, that has all the aspects. The ability to hide, the ability to be evasive, the ability to redirect, and the ability to be mobile when it matters. In addition to a pretty nasty little cannon, pretty zippy little gun, it's a hell of a tank, and that's a good example of how to play it. I think LD played every aspect of the Hellcat right there, and if you look at it, he got 8 kills to less than that combined for the rest of his team. So he carried the game, and they won the game because of him. And the Hellcat has the capability to do that in the right hands. Thank y'all. Hope you enjoyed this recording.